Did you know there's a consistent way to always reach 500% drop rate? Ever wondered about the usefulness of abnormal status resistance? Welcome back! Sorry for the 1 year hiatus. I was, dealing with stuff. Nonetheless, here's part 3 of random useful tips and tricks for Maple beginners and veterans. Let's go. There are 3 obscure buffs that stack with everything else. Starting off with the most well-known, there's the 7 all-stat buff from Candied Apples, bought from this Showa Town vendor. A more obscure one though is the daily random marble buff. After completing this Showa Town pre-quest, you unlock a quest in your light bulb that grants a random buff for free, which refreshes daily. Only a few are useful, notably a chance for 30 all-stat and attack. And last but not least, the concentration buff. After completing the Beasts of Fury questline, the player is rewarded with the title corresponding to the dojo they picked, both having the same function. When equipped, the title grants access to the buff Concentration, which gives 5 weapon and magic attack for 5 minutes, which lingers even when switching titles, and is affected by buff duration. Since the passive stat of decent nodes max out at level 26, for classes that can spare 1 level 30 node slot, the optimal slot enhancement layout would be to enhance each level 25 decent node by 1. It would look something like this, giving 4 more all-stat than leveling 1 to 30. There's an interesting movement tech usually only mages with a regular teleport have. Normally, it's impossible to use teleport while ducking. However, in the middle of the duck regular attack animation, it's possible to use teleport. This proves useful for bosses such as Darknell, Saren, and probably bosses I've never seen before. Every familiar has 2 stats, attack and defense. While attack is mostly irrelevant, defense slows down how fast the summon gauge drains. The higher the total defense of all equipped familiars, the longer the summon duration. So, it's always beneficial to equip the max number of familiars possible. All familiars start at 1 attack and 1 defense, increasing with each level by random amounts determined by its level and rank. What are these, heroic players may ask? To reach level 7, familiar breakthrough cards purchasable in the interactive server cash shop are used on unique and legendary familiars. Legendaries can be obtained from rerolling unique potentials with red familiar cards, or rumored to still be directly dropped as legendary from Princess No. Since Legion raid power is based on each character's level and combat power, always log off each character with damage gear on for optimum Legion coin generation. Every 1 million raid power generates 0.7992 coins every 24 hours. Time for speedrunning tips through the Arcane River weeklies. In Erda Spectrum, getting on these Erda bubbles when they pop grants 10 Erda. In Hungry Muto, diving down under the left side of the map teleports the player to the far left, and vice versa. In Midnight Chaser, keeping track of furniture locations as you traverse can significantly speed up a run. Here's a tracker I quickly found. In Spirit Savior, clicking here on the minimap expands the view, making it easier to path plan and to see the toxic spirit's location. In Ranheim Defense, for less mobile classes, here are the yellow portal locations and destinations. In Esfera Guardian, since the dimensional gates only spawn in 2 different patterns, it's easy to max out the gauge once, then use this guide to clear it in one go. There's also the quicker option of overlaying the minimap onto the turret location, making aiming a lot easier. On to Grandis weeklies. In High Mountain, clicking on the skills allows you to rebind the Mitra skills to other keys. Hey Nexon, if you're watching this, skip the next
30
seconds. In Angler Company, for the proto-suit stages on stage 3 and 7, iframe skills such as the ones listed here linger if used before entering the proto-suit, which helps prevent knockback for its duration. There's another exploit trick that skips the first section. By using Rope Lift right after entering the portal for the robot, Rope Lift launches the player up to the 2nd floor's out-of-bound area, teleporting them further ahead for a slight head start. It's possible to combine both tricks, allowing stages 3 and 7 to be completed a bit faster. The best time to start grinding is right after maintenance. That way, the popular maps accumulate burning field levels without being lowered by other players. Better be ready for maintenance to either end a little early
or 12 hours late.
Getting into even more min-maxing territory, auto-steal gloves, and familiars. To oversimplify, the math ends up being about 0.25% increase in mesos per percent auto-steal, assuming the mobs are one-shot. However, I still recommend creating new gloves for them, and using auto-steal familiars if you easily one-shot mobs, since it's purely beneficial. Though, a caveat is that the percent auto-steal potential line only appears from in-game cubes, such as solid cubes, not glowing and bright cubes. An extremely important website I forgot in my last video was MapleStory. By inputting the class, most of the character's stat window, links, hexa, and all of this stuff, MapleStory calculates the theoretical total percent damage the character can deal to bosses, which most use to determine party potential with the hexa converted amount here. There is also the hexa calculator that determines the order in which to efficiently level up your current hexa. Another website tool useful to those that can't determine what to flame next is the Wacky Beans Flame Calculator. By inputting a set of flammable equipment and their respective flames, this calculates the percent chance and number of flames for a better flame score for optimal flaming. Hate it when the boss items end up like this when speedrunning through bosses without a backpack. This happens since item landing locations usually depend on the height of where the boss is slain. For Papulatus, standing on the ground during phase 2 leads him towards the ground, where defeating him there causes his items to drop more neatly. Here is a safe spot from the floor rifts, which help if Papulatus is one-shot past the phase 1 test. Binding helps a lot. Or just... For Princess No, you can stop her from teleporting up by immediately binding her after summoning her, then bursting her down for more neatly dropped items as well. Or just... For classes that lack skill key bind space, the numpad 0 key on 100% keyboards acts as a loot pickup without having it binded anywhere. This gives space for another skill. Since boss flames don't transfer when transposing onto Sweetwater equipment anymore, the best pendants to transpose from are superior Golux pendants. While not recommended, transposing a 16-star Golux pendant nets 1 attack and 2 all-stat over a 16-star Dominator pendant. Maple Guide has a little hard-to-find menu here, which allows adding the fields themselves to the fast travel bar, making dailies a little more convenient. Not only is the buff from housing extremely useful, some of its furniture have their own features. There's furniture that gives food, which raises a random trait, furniture for each crafting profession, an espresso machine that gives 3 espressos a day, each reducing 5 fatigue, and a punching machine that has its own leaderboard. Favoriting skills in the settings creates a separate window for them, ridding the need to scan through every buff to find one's duration. This can be used for skills that require 100% uptime, Freud's Wisdom on hero classes, summons, and the Genesis weapon iframe. Chance to skip cooldowns not only works with pre-hyper class skills and Angelic Buster's Link skill, but also works with weird miscellaneous skills. For example, the Bind skill from Lucid's Earrings, the Max Burning Stage skill from Firestarter Ring, Soul Weapon skills, notably Wukong's for mostly Culvert, and some useless skills. Everyone knows the 426 drop rate from equipment, decent holy symbol, Legion drop, Legion artifact, alt acquisition potion, familiars, and inner ability. And symbols. But that's just scratching the surface. Whether from a friend or having multiple PCs, partying with the Bishop provides the real holy symbol for 6% more drop rate, with the Lin provides Nature's Providence for 10% more drop rate, and with the Demon Slayer provides Demon Cry, adding 20% drop rate to boxes. A better version of the 50% Legion luck, which shares the same category, is the ×2 consumable given from occasional events, and rarely from Monster Park Friday boxes. However, there's a lesser known ×2 drop coupon acquirable anytime. The ×2 drop coupon from completing Chapter 4 of Friend's Story. It's infinite since it's resettable here once a week, but it takes an hour or 2 to complete Chapter 4 each time. So I really only recommend it for crucial boss drops. There we go! It's technically possible to consistently hit the max 500% drop rate for those that are desperate. Abnormal status resistance is a forgotten stat that not many know the mechanics of. Formerly giving a percent chance to negate abnormal statuses, the stat now cuts the status duration by percentage based on this formula. Resources include the willpower trait, Demon Slayer Legion block, Decent Combat Orders passive, and job skills. The efficiency decreases logarithmically as the stat value increases, though reaching 50% duration cut is easy for most classes and extremely useful, since almost every boss applies annoying statuses. Notable examples include V Hilla Bluestone, Black Mage Darkness, Callus's Machine Stone, and a lot more. That about wraps it up. Until next time, stay safe.